Sounds good. We'll just get right into it. Whenever you want, Bill. Fucking fuel the jet.
What our schedule next week's the same,
Yeah.
and then the week after, what do we have?
I'll let you know right after the show, Michael. Welcome to Hammer Dahn, #1 sports gambling podcast show on YouTube as well. Coming to you live from the PMI offices. I am Tone Diggs. Pat will be joining us. Canadian sensation, Bubba Gumpino. How are you, sir?
Great, Tony. How we doing today?
Incredible.
Babe.
Incredible.
Good hat, my friend.
Thank you. I got a brand new hat. It feels really good. And on the phone, via FaceTime, former NFL GM, host of the Lombardi line, GM Shuffle Pod, subscribe to the Daily Coach, Michael Lombardi. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. Did you watch the Nick Sirianni press conference?
I did. What were your thoughts?
I haven't really watched the whole thing. I've been getting a bunch of texts from people. They spent 9 days preparing him for this.
So he's not a great speaker.
How did he get the job?
It appears he had marbles in his mouth, Mike.
Well, I get being a little nervous doing your first press conference as your head coach. I get that.
This is all goes back to what you've been saying all along, though, Mike. They just want a puppet coach, more or less, someone they can tell what to do, right?
It seems like that. Obviously, to me, part of leadership. So there's 4 areas of leadership you got to be really good at. And you could say you're intimidated in front of the media, but it relates to leadership. So the first area is called management of attention. You basically are able to say, here's my plan. The second area is management of first area is management of meaning, means you've got a plan. The second area is management of attention. I can capture your attention explaining my plan. It's really critical, right? The third area is management of self, which you've got to manage yourself, your ego, and all the things that are related, decision making. And then management of trust is you've got to build the trust between yourself and the players or the people you're leading that you're consistent.
Was this in the TED Talk?
That sounds like the TED Talk.
Sounds like the TED Talk. Huh, Mike? It sounds like the TED Talk there.
A little bit, yeah. That was my TED Talk.
Yeah.
But that is exactly what you can't fail is the management of attention.
Yeah. Pat, we talked about it a little bit on Pat's show.
What's that?
Sirianni's kickoff.
Hey, we'll remember Motor City Dan's because of the kneecaps. We'll remember Adam Gase's at the Jets because of the eyeballs. And for Sirianni's, we'll remember.
He did not do a good job of getting his point across about what the team was going to do.
No doubt. And that's what he has to do. So Al Davis used to tell me all the time, look, whenever you talk to those guys, when you talk to the media, you're talking to 3 people. You're talking to the players, you're talking to the owner, and you're talking the message you want to deliver to the fans, unfiltered. So you got to have that written down on a piece of paper, what you want to project to them. That's why he spent 9 days rehearsing for this press conference. Do you think it was an accident? They just waltzed him out? I mean, they took Marina Oswald. It took her 90 days before they let her meet with the media down in Dallas after the assassination. This guy took 9 days. They wanted to prep him. They've been prepping him.
Hey, how about Caserio then? Let's talk about the prepping. Have you guys already talked about it?
Nope.
Him coming out and leading off that presser today and basically saying, before we get anything, I want to let you know have no interest in trading the player. That was all prepped. Every word that he said there, we should take very seriously. And he's talking to Deshaun there, don't you think?
No doubt. He's talking to Deshaun's agent because he knows that Deshaun's agent has been the driving this thing. I mean, that has been the public. That has been the PR behind this. And so he had to address it. Since the agent chooses to negotiate through the media, he decided to use that platform and tell his player, look, and then and everybody said, well, he's just bluffing. No, as I said yesterday, he doesn't have to bluff. He's got money on his side.
Yeah, they haven't returned one call on Watson either, Mike.
How immature is that? Like, how immature is it? If you have a problem, right? You can't take your toys and go home. If you have a problem and you signed a contract with this team 145 days ago, it was the same owner. Hopkins was traded before you signed a contract. The owner was the same. Something happened in those 145 days. If you're not willing to come in and explain it, then you're just forcing my hand to basically back me into a corner, and I'm not going to react. They think this pressure is going to force him to trade. I disagree. I think the pressure forces them to be hard in their position.
Yeah, because it's not friendly negotiation.
Because you're not being mature about it. You're not coming to the table and saying, what do we have to do? I'm here. Return my phone call. Who behaves like that?
Children, Mike. Children.
That's right.
Well, or somebody that doesn't want a situation to change at all. Like,
doesn't want it to
I
get
don't want to
better.
hear it. Like, I don't want to get talked into why Nick Caserio is awesome. I don't even want to hear it. Maybe that's why. But if that's the case, then there is a little bit of a thought that, oh, we could talk to this guy and we could change it a little bit, you know?
That's why I think they know Deshaun's he's got a reputation of being a good kid. I'm sure that if they talk to him, he'll probably. But here's the question. If things were so bad, why did you sign that extension 145 days ago? You're the agent. You had to sign that too.
Well, Easterby, I think we're in a much different time now, I believe, with the Easterby relationship, right?
He was there, but he was there too.
But I don't think
he was there too. So
was he at his?
No, because Bill was still there.
Maybe he wasn't, but let's talk about it, right? I'm not saying I can offer solutions. I'm saying let's talk about it.
Was Bill O'Brien the only thing holding this organization together?
It seems like it, right? Right?
Hey, he's probably one of the ones who wants his side of the story heard, huh?
He hasn't said a word.
Maybe.
Well,
Maybe.
you know now where that article, a lot of the stuff comes from the article. You can see where this is all coming from, which it had to be. It had to be somebody
gotcha.
marquee, somebody that was involved.
The interesting thing here is, because whenever the alleged revolt happened on the practice field with JJ and Billy O and all that stuff, I wonder if what actually had happened was maybe something like that did happen, and then maybe Billy O was like, I don't know what you guys want me to do, okay? I agree with you. I also got this going on here. You know, like, what if that's what happened and that's why he was fired the next Monday because of what you know what I mean? And then maybe we were a little bit too harsh on old Billy O'Brien when maybe a lot of things were out of his control, and maybe he was being general manager like we were talking about earlier because he didn't want Easterby or somebody else. He's like, oh, I should do this, and maybe I'd be you know what I mean? Maybe Billy O'Brien was put in a terrible position, and I guess we'll never ever find out probably.
I mean, he took this team to the playoffs
Playoffs?
like a year ago, right?
They were up 24-0
With
against the Chiefs.
with this much dysfunction, right? I mean, seriously, yeah, I agree with you. Look, I think what Nick would do, and I would tell Nick this, you have to be, since nobody's behaving like adults in the room, you act like one.
That makes sense.
What? Oh, sorry.
No,
go
go ahead.
I had on something else. Sorry, go ahead.
What was it on?
Sorry.
Just why would the Eagles release that Roseman had complete control over the roster right before that press conference?
I can't explain it. I don't know. I mean, everybody knows he does. I mean, you're going to give a 39-year-old guy who's never called plays the roster control?
What's happening in the NFL, dude?
Well, I mean, it's all being manipulated by subcontracting.
Like we're just gonna look at an elite few teams here who know how to run a team, and then just everything else is just a complete mess.
Mike always says you only really got to beat 8-10 teams.
You only got to. We should make T-shirts up. We're only competing. I mean, when I worked in the league, we had T-shirts. We're only competing against 8. That was Walsh told me that when there was 28 teams in the league. Now there's 32, and you're only competing against 8.
It's even if those teams that have the organization seems to never have a chance, even if they start hot or have a glisser, it's like something's going to happen there.
Mm-hmm.
Something's going to, and it like, by the way, shout out to Cleveland, potentially changing that entire narrative. But as Cleveland leaves that space, other teams are going ahead and filling the role. We'll fuck it all up. We'll do it. We'll be the team that messes things up for eternity now. I don't understand at the highest level how that happens, you know? Like there's a lot of things that happen.
What Say was, there's always going to be one team that spikes up and has a good year, but they can't sustain it because they can't handle success. So, you know, and you and I know, Pat, from being there, success is way harder to handle than losing. Way harder.
The contentness.
Players want to get paid. Coaches want to get paid. Everybody feels entitled. It's the Pat Riley disease of me.
And people get content.
Yep. And there's contentment.
All right. With these last 10 minutes, let's switch our attention to the Super Bowl.
We shall.
It's about a week away, almost. Mike, what have you got from the film?
So I think this is really a game about second down. I think Brady has to be really good on second down. I think if you're gonna, if you first of all,
Is that because
you can't worry about time of possession. You got to worry about first downs. Okay, controlling the ball doesn't do you any good because they can score too fast. But you got to get first downs. That's the mistake Buffalo made. Buffalo was trying to control the ball. They didn't get first downs. You got to get first downs. So one, I think the cadence is going to be really important in this game if you're Tom Brady. And here's why. Because Brady needs to be able to start the cadence, and he needs to watch McAfee and Sorensen and see where they're doing. He needs to figure out the disguise of the defense. And then he's got to let that play clock go all the way down. Pat, when we used to play Peyton Manning, we used to basically wanted to line up in a defense called statues, where you lined up in a cover two shell and you never moved a goddamn inch. Okay?
Can't give it away.
You moved, he knew where you were going. And he could read what you were doing. And when the play clock got under 4 seconds, you started to move to where you needed to go. Same thing in this game. And then I think this.
Hey, hold on. I have a question for you. When Bill, how'd you guys think of that? Because that seems like the most basic thing of all time. Well, he'll be able to get a read on if you guys don't disguise. He'll be able to pick you apart because you'll be able to figure it out. Well, fuck it. Let's not give him anything to do. Well, how are we going to be able to do that? Let's have everybody just stand still until there's 4 seconds left on the play clock. Then you can move. Is that how? Like, how do you get to that point in the conversation? That's like it seems
because
so
you knew
simple.
you couldn't fuck him up because it got to the point after playing him so much you couldn't fuck him up. He was too good at figuring out. You know, the corner playing man cheated inside just a tad, and he fucking knew it. And he got it. So you're like, just stand still there. Line up, align this way like you're an offense. You play defense like they play offense. They're static. See, and the advantage you had was he never motioned. Remember, they never really. Basically, Marvin Harrison lived his life like what, 1 yard inside the numbers, or maybe on top of the number. I mean, think about it. He never moved.
Okay, sorry about that, but we can get back to the. Sorry about that.
So anyway, then I think the other thing is they've got to be able to win second down. So Kansas City's the 30th worst team in the National Football League defensively in allowing you to convert first downs and second down. But they're 17th on third down defense. This can't be a third down game. You got to move the ball, work the play clock, and win on 2 downs. You got to block Chris Jones. You got to have a multitude of 2-point plays. And I think then it gives you a chance to win the game. You can't punt in the second half.
Hey, I'm happy we dialed that in a little bit. Punting, okay, but in critical times, you can't punt.
You cannot punt. You got to have 16 2-point plays. When we played Atlanta in the Super Bowl, we had a bunch of 2-point plays because we thought we were going to blow them out, and we needed them to convert a 19-point lead to a 21-point lead, or, make a 12-point lead 14, right? Seriously, that's why. And the game flipped. That's what you have to do in this game.
That's hilarious. Well, we want to make it a full 3 scores. Golly, the foresight there. And then obviously the 2-point conversion becomes relatively important. It just works out, huh? Up there? Just seems to work out up there in New England.
What's that?
Seems like things just work out for you guys up there in New England.
In New England? Well, preparation works out. I mean, you got to break the game down. Look, they got to go after Ward 35. He's their worst corner. That's the guy we got to go after, right? Make him double move. He leads the team in penalties. He's had 12 holding calls throughout the season. You got to make him have a fucking day. You got to wear his ass out, right? And then they're the worst tackling team. They're 30th in the league in yards after catch allowed. You got to make them make tackles. And you got to be able, the most critical is you got to figure out Spagnuolo. You got to figure out what he's doing and make an adjustment.
Look, I assume what we're going to talk about here on the side of the thing. Mm-hmm. I was just looking at Gronk over-under is at 29.5 yards.
Same what he was last game.
I feel like I'm hammering the over there because it's Super Bowl, it's
Gronk. They
Gronk.
cover him in the last game, Patrick. They didn't cover him. He went down the seam. They tried to play 2. Brady caught him down the seam. He had a big game the last time they played.
Tom recently, though, they only looked at him one time against Green Bay, and it was that fucking screen pass, and he went over for 28.
I think this is all matchup, Tone. I think you got to go after him. I think you got to force Sorensen to try to cover him. Sorensen can't cover him. The problem is, where is Ward? If we knew where Ward's going to be, like, there's no way they're putting Ward on Mike Evans. They know Ward's not very good. So, I think what's Antonio Brown's number? I really think what is Godson's number, I would go over on that. Chris Godwin.
Yep.
Godson.
Mike, did you know, and I found this interesting stat this week that I heard, Brady has only scored 3 points in the first quarter in all 9 Super Bowls combined. He's only scored 3 points in the first quarter.
Yeah. I mean, remember the one in Los Angeles? He threw the interception. I mean, not the one in L.A., but against the Rams, he threw the interception. Against, we started slow against Seattle. We had to get teams tired. I think conditioning will matter in this game too. Do you think the heat and humidity will bother Kansas City?
Tyreek Hill runs 7 miles a game.
No doubt.
He runs all over, and it's never even talked about. Like they're like, oh, they had Tyreek in motion here. He never stops running for 4 hours. It's unbelievable. I assume they have the tracker on him. It is wild.
He is unbelievable stamina, and he's got the strongest hands in all of football. When this ball hits his hands, it doesn't move his wrist.
Mike, my question to you is, with that Brady stat, was that a Bill thing or is that a Tom starting slow thing?
Well, I think it was a feeling out thing. I think it was probably, one thing about this game with 2 weeks to prepare, you prepare for A and you get B, you got to adjust. And remember that Seattle game we played, they were fresh in the defensive line. We couldn't block them at the beginning of the game.
Okay. I'm asking that because with that information, will Tom Brady throw a first quarter touchdown, which he has never done in any of his Super Bowls? It's a little juiced, minus 195, but
I would be inclined to say yes to this because they have to. That's the other thing. I don't think you can go a quarter without scoring points.
That's a boost, you said, or just a bet?
Just a bet. Will Tom Brady throw a first quarter touchdown? There's a lot of yes/no bets in the Super Bowl, which I love.
Me too. Tails, by the way. We're going.
What's the bet for Chris Jones getting a sack?
Let me find that.
You feel good about that?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, because Stinney can't block him. I think that's how you say his name. And they're going to put Chris Jones. They're going to make. How about this, guys? Brendan Daly, the defensive line coach for the Kansas City Chiefs. He worked with us in New England in 14. He won a Super Bowl in 14. He won a Super Bowl in 16. He won a Super Bowl in 18, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he won a Super Bowl with the Chiefs in 19. He's got 4 Super Bowl rings in the last, 6 years? He's been to nothing less than a conference championship game.
Chris Jones.
He knows how to attack Brady inside. He'll put Chris Jones on their worst lineman.
He usually shows up in big games too, Mike.
Chris Jones is not on the prop list yet. I assume that'll come out next week. As far as there's no defensive players on the list yet, Mike.
Yeah,
I was looking at some other ones. Then, Pat, we talked about this last year. No touchback. It was on a 17-2 run. It's currently minus 280. I assume because of that.
What they think that it's? Oh yeah.
The no is minus 280 on the touchback opening kickoff.
Yeah. It's hard. It's a brand new football. It actually doesn't even get touched. Then you put it on the tee and you kick it. You go, oh, everybody on earth is watching this, and it's the worst possible ball I've ever kicked in my entire life, because as soon as it's done, they take it out and they send it right to Canton.
Were you aware of that, Mike?
What's that?
The first, or the no touchback on the first kickoff, 17-2. Pat explained it to us last year, actually, because the ball's not broken in at all.
It's brand new football.
Wow.
Yeah, I noticed that whenever I went out there to kick off, they handed me the thing, and I was like, "This is the worst football I've ever seen in my entire life. It might as well be a trophy with the way it looks or whatever." And I kick it off. I come over to the sideline and talk to the equipment manager, who gets 30 minutes to break in the ball before games or whatever. And he was like, "Bud, it goes to Canton. Bud, it goes to Canton. Sorry." I was like, yeah, it stunk. I mean, I'm happy it didn't go 10 yards, but it's going to be tough for somebody to slaughter that ball through the end zone. But Harrison Butker could do it.
Mike, what are the quarterbacks as far as getting sacked? Because I looked, quarterback to be sacked first. Mahomes is minus 125 and Brady is plus 100. And with what you were talking about with Chris Jones there, and I feel like Mahomes has a really good innate ability not to get sacked. Not that Brady doesn't too, but
he's going to get rid of the ball quick. I don't see him getting sacked first. I see it's all Brady.
I like the value on Brady there too at plus 100. You boys at the table seeing any props that you like?
I've just put in like 4
I saw
parlays.
you did.
I put in 4 parlays here.
Travis Kelce, two or more touchdowns, plus 370.
Leonard Fournette, anytime touchdown scorer. That feels good. It's in a parlay, so I can't see the exact odds. Let me get back to that. But I think playoff Lenny's going to go.
Mike, too, Gumpy's bet, because Did Kelsey go off? I know Tyreek Hill went off in the first game. Did Kelsey have a good one too?
I think Kelsey's got to have a good one here. I think that I would go with Kelsey on an over because I think they have to double Hill.
Yeah, because they don't want to give up 250 yards again to him.
Yep. All right, I got to run to Boston Monday.
We'll talk to you Monday, Mike.
Hey,
See
Mike.
you, Mike. Have a good weekend.
We'll go over more props because I think over the weekend FanDuel's releasing
There's so many.
the hundreds of their props.
Scotty Miller plus 380.
The money line total points parlay is good too. You can get the Chiefs money line and over 56.5 at plus 200.
Pat, I wanted to go through these with you after Mike got off.
That is plus 194 there. Fucking A.
Tommy Townsend over 2.5 points for the game. Over under 2.5 points for the game.
Over.
Minus 170, which is not terrible.
Minus 170?
Yeah. Under 2.5 is plus 135. Tommy Townsend longest punt over under 54.5.
Oh, I don't know.
Shortest is over under 32.5. Does he have a tendency to shank one?
Pooch.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Chiefs minus 5.5 plus 120.
What was it?
Chiefs minus 5.5 plus 120.
Oh, alternate spread. Really?
Yeah.
You have that much faith in the Chiefs?
I
Against
would-
Tom fucking Brady, dude?
I would even go Chiefs minus 8.5 plus 200.
On the other hand, Pat, Bradley Pinion's over under 3.5. His is also 54.5, 32.5 for shortest.
I think they're going to be aggressive. I'm not sure they're going to punt a lot.
They have to be.
Yeah, I think so.
I think Bruce knows that too.
Well, in last week, they had like 8 seconds left, and it was 4th and something. And Tom Brady was fucking on the sideline. And they said, get back out there. And they threw a touchdown on that play.
6.5 is the over under for punts for the game, which
I would lean under there.
I don't know.
sometimes like
The
Super Bowls do
get
start
tight.
slow.
Yeah, Super Bowls get real tight at the beginning. Real tight.
What other? I like looking at, because Andy Reid knows that he torched this defense last time. I'm thinking about taking the Darrell Williams under for rushing, CEH under for rushing. Couldn't find Lev Bell because he's probably going to be a healthy scratch, but
Oh, jeez.
for under and rushing.
You just can't help yourself, huh?
It's always
can't
about
help
you.
I was just,
It's always about
I was just
you.
reporting
It's
information.
always about you.
I just don't see the Chiefs running a lot.
You think Patrick Mahomes will have 2+ passing touchdowns then in each half?
In each
Each
half.
half.
That's plus 480 right now.
Maybe. I don't know. They do some different things on the goal line.
Yeah, a lot of shovels, but maybe some runs too, you know?
I do like I know Mike says they have to throw touchdowns in the first quarter. They have to score in the first quarter. But if Brady's only scored 3 points in 9 Super Bowls, I think I may take the Tampa under on everything for the first quarter. Unless that was a Bill thing.
Yeah, it might have been Josh McDaniels thing, man.
Could. Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady to have 300+ passing yards each,
That seems, since their over-unders are both over 300, I think.
plus 210. That's right now on in the parlay props featured section of FanDuel.
That seems like a tasty little.
I just hammered it.
I think Patty Mahomes at basically even money for MVP. Like if they win, he's most likely going to be the MVP.
Yeah, they just paid him $500 million.
Yeah.
Mike Evans, anytime touchdown is plus 125. Gronk is plus 220 as well.
Oh yeah, that Gronk anytime touchdown score for sure.
Yeah. I don't hate Cameron Brate at plus 260 either.
Got to remember Gronk in the Super Bowl
Yeah.
makes plays.
He did.
When Tom needs a play, he normally looks towards Big 87.
I think if AB's healthy, they'll probably try a lot of those quick screens if Chiefs care yards after catch on tackles.
That's
right?
why I was looking for the AB yards. It's not up here.
Those are, like they said, I think those will go up next week. A lot more of them. One that I guess has a lot of value over the years is for the prop for result of first pass attempt for Mahomes. Complete is minus 200. Incomplete is plus 155. And taking the incomplete, I guess, is paid out over the years, even though you would think that they would dial up something easy to get the game started. Brady is plus 145 incomplete and minus 185 to complete first pass of the game.
He's going to throw a screen to somebody.
That in my head, that's why I don't take this bet, because I always think they just are going to do that.
Because you always hear, like, get him in a rhythm.
Yeah.
Get him in a rhythm.
Especially in here.
Two pretty good coaches.
Definitely have a play on the getting the actual score, because you can get like Chiefs 24-20 is plus 10,000 correct score.
24-20 sounds like a game.
Like it's worth the sprinkle, right?
How about 31-27?
Any of these.
31-27 plus 17,000.
All right, I'm going in.
I mean, it's the stuff like that is worth the sprinkle, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The Super Bowl is great for sprinkling everywhere.
Yeah.
There's so much to gamble on. Tails is hitting. Go ahead and hammer that. They're going to have the red Gatorade over there. Go ahead and hammer that.
I love the over-under 2.5 for players that will attempt to pass.
Oh, there will probably be a trick play somewhere.
Will there be a trick pass?
I think there will be.
Tends to be. Was Bruce always a fan of fakes? Yeah, he was in Pittsburgh,
Aggressive. He's just aggressive.
That was always in play when the Patriots were in the Super Bowl, because you knew Edelman. I think it was actually 3.5 when they played the Rams, because the Rams were running a lot of that stuff too.
AB has thrown passes in his career I'm aware of. I think Godwin has.
Fake punt, fake field goal, right?
Maybe.
Chiefs, I think Sammy Watkins has thrown a pass. Kelsey's thrown a pass.
Hey, you can't leave any bullets in the chamber.
This
Not in the
is it.
Super Bowl. This is it.
No.
This is it.
I mean,
Do
this
or
is
die.
it. This is it.
This is all we got.
Now we go.
Now we go. We
All
bet
right.
on everything.
Gumpy-
Hey, we bet on everything.
Everything. I normally have up to 30, maybe 35 bets on this game.
I just put in 4 parlays already, and I will forget about them when? Tonight?
Yeah.
I won't even know.
As soon as we walk out of this room.
Almost hit for 40 grand last night.
What my problem is, next week you may put in the same parlay.
Or against it. Depending on what comes out. You know what I mean? Depending on how the conversation goes.
That's gambling, baby.
That's gambling, baby.
Gumpy, you got any basketball plays or anything tonight?
West Virginia for sure.
Tonight.
Who they got?
A dub.
They are playing very good basketball right now.
Very good basketball. Right? They just beat Texas Tech.
Yeah. Right at the buzzard. Tonight, Youngstown State money line over Detroit.
Wow.
I like the Ragin' Cajuns getting 4.5 at Texas State.
Hold on. This is a very profitable thing. People have been making a lot of money off of this. I see it on Twitter.
And I mean, I'll tweet them out. I got like 12 or 13 tonight.
Ooh.
12 or 13 points.
Iowa getting 2.5 at Illinois. I like.
Are those your favorites?
Yeah.
That's your favorite right there?
Gumpy, since this is my first weekend betting college basketball again,
Yeah.
is there 120 games tomorrow just like there is every
Oh
Saturday?
yeah. It'll be that's Friday night right there, Tone.
When we talk about waking up early to hunt winners,
I go the other way. I stay up all night on Friday just looking at those.
takes a lot of time to go through 120
It's
games.
tough because you find like 30 or 40 you like, and then you try and bring them down, and then if they don't go right, you go back and look. Well, I should have took.
What
that
you do
one.
is you find your rhythm, and if you find one thing about the game, just find one thing that is a throwaway for the game. It makes it a lot easier.
Do you have dry erase boards at in the apartment over there?
No, all laptop, and then my notes on my phone as well.
Do you have Post-its?
Oh yeah, we get right in there.
That's awesome. I
It's
wish I
like
could see
the
that.
Big Short.
Yeah, that's what
Hey, rattle them all off, pal.
Cleveland State minus 3.5 home to Green Bay. I really like that one. Grand Canyon was -3. They're now 4.5 at home to New Mexico. Boise State money line at Colorado State. UT Arlington -3 at Arkansas State. App State -3.5 at Troy. Ohio +2.5 at Buffalo. And St. Louis getting 1.5 at Richmond.
And those picks were brought to you from deep in the mountains of Humboldt County, California.
Wow. Look at you.
They
What's
were
this?
Way to go.
our friends at Canada
Way to go.
CBD, the nicotine and tobacco-free dip alternative with CBD, are launching the big game competition.
Woo!
Yep, football baby for our loyal listeners.
That's right.
They have an unbelievable offer for the first 20,000 entries for a chance to win a free tin, a free hat, sent to your house, free of charge, with no purchase necessary. Head to CanadipCBD.com/biggame and follow the easy prompts to get first dibs in the competition. Canada CBD is proud to announce the Big Game Challenge. Will it be the mighty Chiefs, hailing from the land of barbecue?
Or
Or will TB12 ride his goat into football eternity and win one for the home crowd? The first 20,000 contest entries are eligible for a free tin and free shipping.
Where's that at?
CBDMD.com.
What?
Candidates.
CBD. CandidatesCBD.com.
Wow.
First one.
This is the first one. Are you?
Candidates
I mean,
CBD.com.
are you absolutely?
Missed it on Monday.
Oh my God! What this operation?
Head to candidatecbd.com/biggame to enter.
How do you CA?
CANNADIPSCBD.com/biggame.
That babe tone.
Hey,
Not my first ad read either.
yeah, maybe your best.
Won't be your last.
Maybe your finest. Honestly, it might be your last for this show.
Honestly.
Might be
But
the
maybe
last.
your finest work you've
the
done.
last.
Frankfurt tomorrow. Money line. Bundesliga. Haven't lost in 7. They're
Whoa,
scoring goals.
I didn't know we're doing fucking soccer bets. Hold on, these are locks.
They're scoring goals for fun right now.
Who's this?
Frankfurt. 10 goals in last 3 games. They got Luka Jovic back from Real Madrid. He was on loan there. 3 goals in 3 games, and he hasn't even started yet. Hertha Berlin hasn't won in 4. I'm going back to the well on AC Milan, money line, Italian Serie A. They've lost 2 in a row, but they're getting good value at money line -120 against Bologna.
Here we go. Come on.
And then to La Liga, Sevilla, money line. It's always a sweat.
La Liga, Sevilla, always gonna sweat.
It's always a sweat with them, usually 70th, 80th. They win it out. 1 loss in 14 in all competitions for them, so I like them money line as well. I got another 8 or 9 for Saturday and 10 on Sunday as well.
And these aren't just shots in the dark here. These are.
I've been told that, but yeah, they aren't. They're good plays.
So you have Frankfurt, Sevilla.
Yep.
Did you
AC
say
Milan.
AC Milan.
It's not even on here.
Ibra's in, right?
AC Milan, you like?
Yeah, Syria.
So how do I?
And then you'll switch to Spain for Sevilla. And then you go to Germany for Frankfurt.
We're all over the map then.
Frankfurt is a wagon right now.
That's what I've been saying this whole time.
That Jovic guy, man, he didn't play at all for Real Madrid. He comes back. He's just banging them in the net.
Just banging.
Like he never left.
Special kid.
Just banging them.
Hasn't even started yet. I mean, if he starts tomorrow.
And then what's the third one? Frankfurt.
Yeah.
That's over there in Germany.
Bundesliga.
Eintracht, Frankfurt.
3-team parlay on those is +549.
That's what I'm putting in right now.
Tottenham getting good value on a draw no
Don't-
bet.
you know what, don't
-170 on Sunday.
Hey,
Don't even.
Which Frankfurt here? There's a couple.
Where you at?
Is he Germans?
Should be the first one up there.
It's Eintracht Frankfurt.
There you go. That's the squad.
Eintracht.
Eintracht.
Nine. Eintracht Frankfurt.
All right.
Here we go, dude. Let's go. Get some money, bro.
We'll be back Monday with more picks, more props. We'll pick Lombardi's brain more on the props. Break down the game some more. It's Super Bowl Monday.
Big week.
Super
Bowl
Monday,
Monday.
dude.
Big week.
It's a celebration week.
Huge week.
It's like a birthday, but a birth week of Lombardi's trophy
Hell yeah.
going somewhere.
Hell
or
yeah.
staying somewhere. I mean, come on. It's a big week. I can't believe we got here.
Super Monday.
They said
Super
we
Bowl
couldn't
Monday.
do it.
They said we couldn't
Said
do
we
it.
couldn't do it.
Everybody did. Doctors.
And we said it takes all of us, and we understand that.
Hey, Fauci early said there's no way.
He did.
Yeah, now you just wear 16
There's a
masks.
lot of
You do
people-
whatever you want, pal.
There's a lot of people saying no way. I took receipts. They will be outed on Sunday.
You did?
I wish I did.
That'd been a good move by you.
I know.
Tony scorched earth.
We'll be back Monday. Hammer
Dahn.